Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics.
Welcome back, one and all. I'm AtF Mega, and continuing with Mega May, we're taking a look at Mega Man X6, a retro run-and-gun platform for the PlayStation 1 by Capcom. Without any further ado, let's dive in. Originally released in Japan in November 2001 as Rockman X6 and reaching American shores only a couple weeks later, it's no secret that Mega Man X6 wasn't supposed to exist. And by that I mean that X5 was intended to be the last of the X games. But that didn't stop Capcom from milking things further. Using the same engine as X4 and X5, the basic gameplay of X6 is foundationally the same as previous games. You go through a stage, blast through enemy robots, fight a boss, collect their weapon, and that weapon is another boss's weakness. Rinse and repeat. But there are some minor changes that try to shake up the formula a bit. Firstly, X now has access to the Z-Saber. Following the ending of X5, you can now use it in close quarters combat, albeit with limited effectiveness. Secondly, there's now the Nightmare system to contend with. Each stage might be modified by those that you've played previously, including new obstacles such as darkening the screen with torrential rains, being attacked by random strikes of Soul Body for no reason, or being swarmed by annoying metal insects that block your shots. Thirdly, each of the 8 main stages now has 16 civilian Reploids that you can rescue hidden throughout the stage. However, there's also nightmare viruses floating about. If one of these reaches a Reploid, they'll infect them. Once a civilian is infected, they're gone for good. The only way to change it is to reload an earlier save. Whenever you rescue a civilian, they'll partially refill your health and give you a 1-up. Additionally, some civilians will also give you an upgrade part that you can equip between stages. These work similar to the upgrade parts from X5, but with 2 noticeable changes. Firstly, since they're tied to the civilian Reploids, you can now get all of them in a single run. And on top of that, wearing armor doesn't prevent you from using them. That's good. But there's some bad news too. You now need to collect DNA souls in order to equip them. You technically have a maximum of 5 you can get, but unless you intentionally grind for DNA, you shouldn't expect to equip more than 3. As with X5, you have 3 separate suits of armor, which are once again all or nothing deals. You'll start with a damaged version of X5's Falcon armor, unable to use the flying ability, but still enhancing your overall capabilities. The blade armor gives you extra use of special weapons, decreases damage, gives you a huge slash as a Giga attack, gives a charged ability for the Z-Saber, and allows you to dash in any orthogonal direction. All in all, it's a pretty basic X-style armor. The Shadow armor, on the other hand, is like an enhanced version of the Gaia armor, and has a ninja aesthetic. Much like the Gaia, you cannot use special weapons, but you're able to walk on spikes without being killed. Your basic shot is replaced with Shuriken that randomly shoot out at a slight angle upwards or downwards, while your charge shot is a powerful short-range saber slash. You also gain a Giga attack which has 2 crescents circle around X. This ignores invincibility frames and thus can deal heavy damage to bosses. I was trying to decide whether or not I should have a spoiler section here and ultimately decided against it. Yes, the player is supposed to think Zero is dead going into the game, but considering they put him on the cover for X7 and X8, it's like pretending we don't know Samus is a woman. Everyone that plays video games knows at this point. You'll have to unlock him, but once you do, you can freely switch between him and X between stages. And unlike X5, there is no penalty for doing so. Upgrades are now shared between characters. Zero plays much like he did in the previous 2 entries, with a more aggressive melee fighting style, but lacking the damage-reducing armors available to X. Stage design is punishing to say the least. This game loves instant death traps. You have a great deal of bottomless pits and spikes, and then you have an entire stage that's just one long crusher segment. Not to mention that the enemy placement is absolutely brutal, especially if you're hoping to 100% the game and rescue all those civilians before the viruses infect them. Presentation-wise, the game still looks pretty good. It maintains the same art style as the other PS1 X games. The new Reploids generally look good and fit with the style of the series. The story is even worse than normal. I'm not going to pretend that the previous X games were masterpieces of writing.
What am I fighting for?
But at least they made sense. The translation here has a lot of oddities, and sometimes even involves them making things up whole cloth. I hid myself while I repaired myself? What is that even supposed to mean? As for the main plot, it involves a former colleague of Alia's finding a piece of Zero after the Eurasia incident from the previous game, and using it to enhance himself and other Reploids. There's also the Zero Nightmare, which is never really explained. You fight it, it disappears, and the real Zero appears thereafter. Oh, and Sigma is back and still acts as the final boss because, of course, he does. All in all, Mega Man X6 is a mess. It's still not the worst game in the series. We'll be getting to that one eventually, but I cannot in good conscience recommend it to anyone but hardcore fans. Aesthetically, it looks like it's just another X game, and if that were the end of it, it would be just fine. There's even some minor improvements over X5. However, it's one small step forward and a giant leap back. The stage design is the worst of the X-Styles up to this point in time. I can't say that I enjoy a single one of these levels, especially if you're intent on 100%ing the game, which I did this time and can safely say I will never do again. Sure, X4 and X5 had those annoying ride chaser segments, but aside from that, most of their stages were pretty enjoyable. But this entire game is just a collection of bad gimmicks. Oh, and I hope you didn't pick the wrong armor for the second fortress stage, as it can make a certain infamous jump near impossible if you're not using the blade armor or Zero. The series was meant to end with X5, and they should have left it with that. I certainly don't think it's one of the worst games ever as some contend, but it's still a bad game. In conclusion, I find I must give Mega Man X6 a lacking 5.8 out of 10.
If you're interested in playing Mega Man X6 for yourself, the easiest way to do so these days is through the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2, which is available for PC via Steam as well as all major consoles. If you're interested in purchasing or learning more, links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of Mega Man X6? Which Mega Man titles have disappointed you? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.